And quite honestly, Greg, the biggest challenge that business guys have now is having a high enough FICO score,
Right.
And to be able to get the new credit that they have.
Yeah.
And so let me clear up a couple things here then, questions I have. I owe a company, Bank A. I got a credit card debt. I'm current on it. I want to eliminate the debt. How do I do it?
Well,
You pay it, right?
yeah, I'd say you pay it, but on a moral issue, I would say it that way. But let's say it this way: if you could not pay the bill, you get into a situation where you cannot pay the bill. I term the phrase lovingly release it, let it go. They're not going to come after you for the shoes. They're not going to do those kinds of things. Credit in our country, it's by law. They call you for a while. And it's amazing how every single one of these banks, every single one of these lenders, they charge it off. They consider it bad debt. And so they take it off the books.
So once they charge it off,
Uh-huh.
and somebody else tries to collect it, they legally can't collect it. Is that what you're saying to me?
They don't. And they sell that then to a third-party collection company. And that's where they actually have a problem. We actually like that because in our particular instance, that's how we go to work and we eliminate the debt.
Okay. So if I'm clear on this, then it doesn't work in every circumstance, but it works in most circumstances?
That is correct.
That would be correct.
That is correct.
Okay, so it certainly would be worth looking into. So this works completely different really than the debt settlement, but you're really going after the same goal or really the same type of creditor, is that correct?
That's correct. It's actually what it is instead of a debt settlement where you're negotiating for a percentage of the debt to be paid off, and ruins your credit. This actually eliminates the debt and it fixes your credit.
Fixes your credit. Well, how does it fix your credit?
Well, when it comes off of your credit report, it actually comes off as paid as agreed. And so on a credit report, that actually looks very good and very clean.
Wow, that's completely different than debt settlement, because when you do debt settlement, it shows as paid, but it shows as paid at a lesser amount.
That's
right.
right.
at a lesser negotiated amount. So here you're saying that it comes off and it shows paid as agreed.
That's correct.
What do you think about that, Jena?
That's crazy. Is it legal?
It's perfectly legal. Actually, we follow the letter of the law.
Oh, how much experience do you guys have doing this?
With our office, we've got probably about 8 years of experience.
Wow.
Sounds good.
What's the success ratio?
I kind of qualify that one in the sense that if it's a qualified lead, in other words, a qualified debt, it's an unsecured debt, it is in collections, our success rate is actually 100%.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's guaranteed to work?
Well, we put a guarantee on it, but I want to talk to people about the qualifications of the guarantee, but yes, we do.
Do you want to cover that now, or do you want to do that individually with them?
We'll do it individually, but the bottom line of it is as long as it's a qualified debt, in other words, it's an unsecured debt, they're in collections, and within the time frame, that's kind of a little bit of an explanation with that, but yeah, I'd guarantee that we'd get it done right. I'd give them money back if they didn't.
Well, what kind of cost does this have to do?
Typically our costs, the ballpark figure that you can pretty much count on is about 17% of your debt.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
How long does it take to fix your credit?
Everybody's varies, and obviously you can understand that in the sense that different banks have different time frames, but the fastest we've seen it come off and eliminated off their credit report and fixed is 7 days. That's the fastest. The longest I've had it take is 93 days, but on average it's about 60 days.
About 60 days. So that means that the shoe deal, right? Okay, we're kidding folks about the shoes.
No shoe problem here. Well, maybe a little one.
Little shoe problem. Yeah, okay. And, not clothes problem, right?
No.
No, strictly shoes. Okay, good. So I'm glad we got that cleared up and out of the way. Was there any other hard questions you want to ask him?
Well, besides the guarantee, I was really wondering about that because I've heard a lot of places they can't guarantee it. So does it affect your FICO score in a bad way or only a good way?
Once it comes off, it only affects your FICO score in a good way.
So I would assume that once you started a process like this, you actually started the process before they got to you by not paying their bills, which probably made their FICO go way down.
That's correct.
Right.
And so what you're saying is, if what you're saying so is that the debt comes off and shows is paid, is paid
And
in
it goes
full.
shooting right
And that's
back
gonna,
at it.
folks, I know a little something about credit, that's gonna make the credit shoot right up, so.
That's right.
So really, from the time somebody gets in trouble and the time you settle it, really in a 6-month kind of span, you could get in trouble and get healed and
That's right.
and get some relief on that, and at a really kind of a much smaller amount, which help people get back on their feet right now.
Yeah.
That's a very cool thing.
If I may, just a little bit about debt that I find very fascinating. A lot of times when we talk about the expenses of a debt, I don't think most people realize what the time frame is that a credit card company has in the expectation of a payoff. If you're paying a minimum payment on a credit card, they actually design that to be paid off in 83 years.
83 years?
Yeah.
You
the
know how old
interest
you'll
you
be
have
in
to pay-
83 years?
That's weird because
You're like 150 by then.
my credit card that I have, it says if I pay the minimum payment, then I'll pay it off in 3 years.
If you pay just the minimum payment on a typical credit card, the planned time frame of getting it paid off is actually 83 years.
Wow.
Unless you have an accelerated program on yours.
Well, what is happening now, and it's probably what you're seeing, Jenna, is that they're being required to put suggested payments at accelerated things on there now, for this very reason of what he talks about.
Oh, okay.
Because for years what was happening is they're put you in debt, and then they just keep, they're living on the interest, okay? They have so many times that they can mark up, from what I understand, in other words, a bank has to be in balance. They have to have so much deposit. Everybody understands they have to have so much in deposits to support so much in credit. But what happens is that they actually can take that deposit and factor it by loaning it out, the value of it, what, 8 or 10 times?
It's actually 20 times.
20 times, okay. So as long as they have the cash flow to sustain it, basically as long as they're keeping the cash flow on it, it's all profit. And
That's
it's
right.
profit, they're taking that same money, and because it's running on a cash flow on a credit line, they're making the money up to 20 times over on that same one.
That's
So-
correct.
So I guess if they have a party foul here or there, it's not that big a deal to them, huh? And when did I have such, I always wondered about that, Greg, and I was in the bank and I was saying to myself, this is a big building, man. What do I do with all this space? You see how big the bank is? You're thinking,
Yeah.
people just going in here and cashing their checks,
Right.
How are they doing that on that, they tell me I can have free checking. Like, free checking, how are you going to pay for the building? I see, said the blind guy, you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Well, this was really, really informative, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Do you have anything that you want to say to people who are skeptical about what you guys do?
Oh, good question. I get a lot of skeptics. And I'll just tell you the best thing I can suggest is typical families, typical people, they've got more than one debt. They've got 5, 6, 7 different debts. And I tell them all the time, you know what? Be the skeptic. Try one. And when you see one come back and deletes off and it gets eliminated and you don't owe anymore and it fixes your credit, you'll be back for more. Not only will you be back for more, you'll be telling all your friends and then have them call me.
So it's
That's
almost
cool.
like a try it for you, buy it type thing, or just buying like a little segment.
Just
That's
buy a
like
little
a trial size, right?
Yeah, exactly. Try the trial size because
So we're gonna be
I
a
know
trial
that's
size
successful.
credit thing. I like it. That's really good. Well, thanks for coming on, folks. If you follow the link and look at the link next to the show, it'll tell you how to get a hold of Greg and how to get the information. There's a website there where you can get more information. There's a number that you can call. Feel free to check with the iNet Team Alliance. Anything that we have on the show, we have information on. We'd love to help you with that. And I want to thank you again for coming on the
You're
show.
very
It
welcome.
certainly has been a pleasure.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time.
Bye.